Israel's war cabinet was formed 5 days after the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war and included top officials and the leader of Netanyahu's political opposition, Benny Gantz. But Gantz left, citing deep disagreements with the prime minister. ABC's Mary Bruce pressed National Security Council spokesman John Kirby on if disbanding the war cabinet now gives hawkish voices in Israel more power.
It's really up to the prime minister to decide. Was Mr. Gantz's decision to leave? I'm not sure that Prime Minister Netanyahu was left with a whole lot of other choices.
Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Russian President Vladimir Putin making his first trip to North Korea in decades tomorrow as he works to secure more weapons for Russia's war with Ukraine. And the Kremlin says detained American journalist Evan Gershkovich will be tried behind closed doors. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow up about 0.5%. You're listening to ABC News.
California's capital city now. Local stories on KFBK News Radio. On KFBK News Radio. A live pipe bomb prompting evacuations at a recycling center on 1 Avenue and Winona Way in the North Highlands area. Expanding the initial evacuation area. Armstrong is working to disarm the business, including police suspected anybody in custody.
were hell, third was tolerable, and that after that, no problem. I've swapped phones many times. It was seamless. I have Android regularly back up the phone, and when I log into Google on the new Android phone, the entire backup flows into the new phone, and that's it. He goes on. Yeah, it just seems like in today's world they would make this as simple as they possibly could. All right, so what do you make of Joe Biden? Lynette sends me an email and says, how long can someone act like they've lost their mind? And why would someone with Biden's ego allow himself to be portrayed as a walking, mumbling idiot? You know the media will prop up anything and everything Biden does at the debates. So it can't be about low expectations being exceeded. I'm afraid that the guy who let him off the stage is the one pulling the strings. By the way, the Hollywood elite applauding Biden and Obama were mostly part over-the-hill gang. Yeah, I know. There wasn't, it was like the older Hollywood crowd that was there. The young, hip, cool stars are, no, they weren't anywhere near this thing. Yeah, there is. There's an age gap even among the Hollywood elites. So yeah, I know it's way out there thinking, Lynette, and I appreciate your email. It's just, I guess it's one of these where you can edit whatever you want into anything. It'll look like however you want it to look. But that was live, and that was on stage, and so I know that that Biden was looking at the other paratroopers when the Italian prime minister grabbed him by the arm and basically said, over here. And that by itself should not be a big deal, but everybody else was kind of on the same page, except for Joe. He was off doing something else. And then at the theater in L.A. last Saturday night, he... I saw one video where it started a little bit later. He was kind of clapping back at the audience for a little bit, and then he turned straight and just stood there with his arms at his side. I think it's his posture has to do with that stenosis that he has in his spine. He stands. It's all awkward. He stands awkward. He walks awkward. And when he reads the teleprompter, he has trouble with speech. He's not a great speaker anyway. But I don't know what you make of it. I'm worried that people are going to be surprised come a week from Thursday when he is responsive and answers the questions. He may not disagree with what he says, but maybe alert as anybody could ever think. Mark Thiessen chimes in on this concept as well. Cut 15.
If this was an isolated incident, it would be no problem. But this is happening all the time, and Americans can see it. And it's not just that he's getting lost on stage. He's messing up his remarks. He's welcoming a Hamas hostage to the Rose Garden who's still being held by Hamas. He's starting to read the instructions his speechwriters put in his speech. And just in that clip you showed, he said Donald Trump nominated 2 Supreme Court justices. No, he nominated 3. He nominated 3 justices. He even got that wrong. So, this is a president where, it is not surprising that 8 in 10 Americans are concerned about his mental fitness for the job.
We all misspeak. I do, you do. And what happens when you misspeak is you don't hear yourself, or you wouldn't have misspoke. But this is, what Mark was talking about this is Biden talking about how important the next president will be when it comes to Supreme Court appointees. Cut 14.
The next president is likely to have 2 new Supreme Court nominees. 2 more. He's already appointed 2 that have been very negative in terms of the rights of individuals. The idea that if he's reelected, he's going to appoint 2 more flying flags upside down is really, I really mean it.
Yeah. 2 more with flags upside down. I'm sorry. First, yeah, he did get it wrong that Trump appointed 3, and there are 2 expected in the next 4 years to say I'm out. Clarence Thomas is the oldest member of the Supreme Court, and there's a couple of others there that are not young chickens. Let me see how old Clarence Thomas is. I know he's the oldest one. He is 75. Not all that bad. 75 when you start talking about 78 and 81 sounds kind of young all of a sudden. I don't know, I mean, Sam Alito is 74. What else you got on there that's getting up in age? Sonia Sotomayor